Good evening, YouTube. This is Talking Sports with the Pastor. You are on live with Pastor Len. We're going to be talking a little bit about the latest and greatest goings on with some Pittsburgh sports teams. We're going to start off with where everybody wants to start off right now. We're going to be talking some Pittsburgh Steelers. It's looking a little bit troubling here in the Berg for our Steelers. Not only did I not envision that when we started this season, that by week 6, I would be talking about starting quarterback Devlin Hodges and backup quarterback Paxton Lynch. That scares me to death. Devlin looked really good. World champion duck caller is now our starting signal caller for our Steelers. How do you feel about that? Played really well, I thought, jumping in against the Ravens. That is not an easy situation for a backup quarterback to come in that hasn't been a backup very long. Yes, he was with us in the preseason, so yes, he had a little bit of indoctrination, and he was okay. And some of you may say, "Well, wait a minute, Mason Rudolph hasn't been eliminated for this week. They haven't said he's out." My word to you is, look at the schedule. We're not playing a home game this week. We have to travel to California. That's not an easy flight, especially with someone who has had a concussion and what looked to be a very serious concussion. Please don't misunderstand. I don't think he's going to be out long. I don't think he's making that trip this week. It's just a gut feeling. I think you're going to go out to the West Coast with Devlin Hodges and Paxton Lynch as your two quarterbacks. It's gonna take a Herculean effort from the running game and the defense to keep us in this ball game. So it's on Sunday night. It's in front of a national TV audience. These are the kind of games the Chargers sometimes will cough up for you. So we can hope we can sneak out of this one with a win. We then have a bye week. That would get Mason Rudolph 2 weeks then to get ready for a Monday night game against Miami. So really, it's almost like a second bye week with a scrimmage game in there. But so pump the brakes a little bit. But it is time to throw up the yellow flag right now, the caution flag, because we're a little bit concerned here in Steeler Nation. The other thing going on in Steeler Nation right now, Daniel Snyder, who is the owner of the Washington Redskins, put a message out or a feeler out saying that Mike Tomlin might be on his short list of coaches that he would like to have in Washington. Now, Mike Tomlin is a very loyal man. If you know anything about Mike Tomlin, he is very loyal. He loves the Rooneys, but money talks. And he would have probably an expanded role with the Washington Redskins. They might make him a John Gruden type deal to go to Washington. Is that something he'd entertain? If he did entertain it, would you be upset about that? I've been watching on media in and around the Pittsburgh area. Some people aren't all that upset. They think it's time to move on from Tomlin, to which I say be careful what you wish for. Mike Tomlin, other than what might happen this year, has not had a losing record since he took this team over. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. People will say that was a Bill Cowher team that he had, to which I strongly urge you to reconsider that notion if you're thinking that. Super Bowl 40 was Bill Cowher. Super Bowl 43 was Mike Tomlin. That's 3 years. Let's go to the year after we won Super Bowl 40. Go back and look what our record was. It wasn't a championship football team that Mike Tomlin inherited. Yes, he inherited some players. You are going to inherit some players, but you're also going to inherit some problems too. So I give him a lot of credit. The Super Bowl 43 was not a fluke. That was all him. That was all Tomlin. Of course, Ben, Santonio Holmes, James Harrison, everybody knows the stories. But so he's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, never had a losing record. Is that something you really want to part ways from? No, honestly, we're not gonna pay him anymore. You know that. Being Steeler fans, we only have so much money that we're going to dish out. It's not something that we do is paying high prices for front office people. They're paid well. They are paid fairly but they're not going to open up the vault. That's just not something they do. Would Mike Tomlin jump? I think it's a distinct possibility he might jump. He might be looking for a new challenge. So, probably no Ben. Already no AB, no Bell. Now maybe no Tomlin. And now the one thing that would be good is if there's no Tomlin, you probably wipe out the whole coaching staff. And I think a lot of people think that's where the problem lies, is within the coaching staff. I am one that I like Keith Butler. I just don't think he's doing enough with a defense that has 8 or 9 first-round draft picks on the defense. Think about that. 8 or 9 first-round draft picks. Look at that defense. Cameron Hayward, first-round draft pick. TJ Watt, first-round draft pick. Bud Dupree, first-round draft pick. Terrell Edmonds, first-round draft pick. Minkah Fitzpatrick, first-round draft pick. Not ours, still a first-round draft pick. Look at the talent that's on this team. Joe Hayden, another first-round draft pick. They should be doing more than they are. It's coming around. It's coming around. This should be a devastating defense. With that many first-round draft picks and that much talent, the team should not score. We should be able to win games 6-3. So tell me what your thoughts are on that. A lot of big goings on in Steeler Nation. Switch channels now for just a couple of minutes to hockey. We are 3 games into the regular season. Penguins have dropped 2 of those 3. The one game they looked really good that they won. Lost to Winnipeg last night. Winnipeg, I think Winnipeg's an up-and-coming team. I think that the Penguins might be on the downslide a little bit. We are not used to winters in the Pittsburgh area with sports teams who are struggling. What does that do for you psychologically? Is that something that worries you, that makes you uncomfortable? So Penguins, I think, will get it put together. They're notoriously slow starters. I think this is a playoff team. We have to see exactly what they'll be as they get closer to the trading deadline. Would they be a team that would make some moves to get closer to maybe making another run at the cup? I don't know. Or would they be ones that would be sellers at the deadline, trying to stockpile draft picks and try to maybe not rebuild but reload? I don't think you rebuild when you have a Sidney Crosby and a Matt Murray, and all the talent that they have, like a Chris Letang and Jake Gensel. And I don't think you're going to rip all that down. I think what you're going to do is you're going to try to restock the shelves and try to get better. Are we a year or 2 away from that? Sidney is not getting younger. Of course, he's getting older. But he's, look at Mario. Mario was a very effective hockey player for a very long time. So it can be done. Hockey is one of those sports that it can be done. What's your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Penguins? Moving to college football. Right now, Pitt is looking decent. Had a scary game against Duke. My problem is I don't get to see these games. I was following it on my tablet, not video on my tablet, just following the score and the play-by-play. But it was a scary game. It's a weird game. It's a weird game as I watched the highlights. But they won. They came out with a W. I think this team gets better as it goes along. The Penn State game is certainly one that they should have had. I don't understand why Pat Narduzzi goes for it or goes and kicks the field goal on 4th down, that close down to the goal line. Field goal does nothing for you there. It makes you go from a 7-point deficit to a 4-point deficit. Guess what? You still need a touchdown. You're on the goal line. If you can't get it, you don't deserve it. But a cop-out is going for the field goal. That's one problem I have with Pat Narduzzi is he doesn't exactly have the best ideas as far as strategically. I don't know who's in charge of those decisions, but I think that was one that probably falls on him. Penn State looking like Penn State used to look. They just look devastating right now. I will agree they haven't really played the top-notch talent yet. So we're hoping that if you're a Penn State fan, you're hoping that this is going to continue. You might see the glare there. I'm just checking out the schedule for this week for the local football teams. We have Penn State is going to have a tough test. They have to travel to Iowa this week. It's number 10 Penn State, number 17 Iowa. It's a national game. It's 7:30 at night on ABC. It's going to be a really good game. 5-0 Penn State, 4-1 Iowa. Set your DVRs because that's one you're going to want to see. West Virginia. I only bring up West Virginia because my son's a freshman there, and we follow West Virginia athletics. They are 3-2 in the Big 12 right now. That puts them 7th right now. They are facing an Iowa State team that is up and coming. They are also 3-2 and have had a couple of very impressive wins lately. So that is going to be an interesting game. It's a 4:00 game down in Morgantown on ESPN. So if you get a chance, definitely check that one out. West Virginia's had a few growing pains with the new first-year head coach they have down there. Pitt is off this week, so we don't have to worry about our Pitt Panthers this week. So there is a lot of stuff going on, a lot happening. All the Pittsburgh sports teams are off tonight. Anaheim comes in to visit the Penguins tomorrow night. And then Friday night, everybody's off. And then Saturday, we already touched on the schedule there. And on Sunday, we have the Steelers and Chargers at 8:20. And Penguins go and see Winnipeg then. So maybe we can get some revenge up there. Tristan Jarry right now is scheduled to be the starter up in Winnipeg for that game. So what do you think? Message me here on Talking Sports with the Pastor. Message me on the chat over here. Like and subscribe to this channel so that every time we go live, you'll be notified and you can jump on here with us and just we chat sports. We like to talk. We like to answer people's questions. We like to go back and forth. We like to have good-natured debates, arguments. That's all good. It's all Talking Sports with the Pastor. So if you have anything, please let me know. We will be back on probably sometime over the weekend. We'll talk about what happened with college football games. May jump on late Sunday and talk about what's going on with the Steelers and the Chargers. So jump on. There's got to be lots of people with lots of comments. So jump on. We look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, you are Talking Sports with the Pastor with Pastor Len. Have a great night.